You ever see three armed officers freeze up like kids who just knocked over a beehive? That's the exact moment I realized my entire life was about to split in two. There's blood pooling under my knee on a cracked Westridge sidewalk. Three white cops with guns pointed at me. And suddenly my phone lights up, presidential seal on the screen, buzzing like a hornet. Sir, we need you for Operation Blackwatch immediately. That was the second these guys knew, really knew they'd messed with the wrong man. You know what I mean? Yeah, that happened. Georgia heat wraps around this place like it's got something to prove, and for the first time in months, I was craving home. See, I'm Marcus Daniels, Delta Force, 15 years running ops overseas, and all I wanted was quiet. Some fresh air, maybe catch up with Mrs. Johnson, the woman who raised me more than anyone besides my mom. You'd think jeans and a plain black t-shirt would help me blend in, but the truth is that kind of training lives in your bones. Doesn't matter if you're carrying an M4 or a grocery bag. You're always scanning, always moving like you expect trouble. And around here, lately, you can just feel something ugly riding under the surface. There's more patrols than I ever remember, more hard eyes behind steering wheels, and a tension so thick you could slice it with a pocket knife. It's the kind of neighborhood where folks lock their doors a little earlier, watch their kids a little closer. So when I spot two cops hassling a group of black teenagers at the park, one of them, just a kid, pressed up against a patrol car, basketball still rolling in the grass, I know exactly how this ends if someone doesn't step in. Stay inside, Mrs. Johnson, I call, heart thudding as I head that way, hands visible, voice even, using the tone that got me through Baghdad and back. I asked the officers, Brennan, a rookie with something to prove, and Myers, all bark and badge what's going on. They give me that look, the one that says, this isn't your business, but I make it my business anyway. They're just playing basketball, I say, nodding at the court. Let's talk about why you've got them lined up like criminals. Myers sizes me up, spits out something about reports of drug activity, and the boys look scared but not surprised. You can see it in their eyes, this is routine. Me, I stand my ground, insist I'm not leaving till I understand what's really going on. The third patrol car rolls up, and Philip steps out, built like a linebacker and twice as mean. He goes straight for intimidation. You got ID? Were you another vagrant causing problems? Now, I've dealt with warlords, but there's a particular breed of cop who's worse because he thinks he's untouchable. I keep my hands up, say, my wallet's in my back pocket, I'm gonna reach for it. Next thing, Philip shouts, he's reaching gun. And just like that, a shot rings out. Pain explodes through my thigh. I'm down on one knee, hearing teenagers screaming and sneakers pounding as they scatter. The world narrows, gets hot, noisy, and mean. Still, I make my voice steady. There is no weapon. I was reaching for my ID. Doesn't matter, they're already on me, cuffing me, digging elbows into fresh wounds, searching pockets, flipping my military ID with open mockery. Playing soldier, huh? Myers snickers. Sure, that's real. Phillips laughs. You can buy those online. They never read my rights, never call for medical, just shove me in the back of the car, blood soaking the seat. I've led teams through firefights in places most folks can't pronounce, but I've never been treated with less humanity than right here, 5 miles from where I grew up. Hospitals know better. I'm handcuffed to a gurney, bleeding through a makeshift bandage, and Phillips is telling the nurse loud enough for everyone to hear, potential drug dealer, resisted arrest, reached for what we believed was a weapon. No one questions him. The doctor barely looks at me, barks orders at a nurse, then vanishes. It's the nurse, Tanya Williams, who finally cleans the wound properly, keeps her voice low, eyes steady. You're military, aren't you? She whispers, seeing the other scars. I nod. Active duty. She hesitates, then asks if I need to make a call. You know how rare that is? I give her a secure number from my captain, a code phrase, and she promises to deliver the message. That's the only reason I made it out of that hospital in one piece. Meanwhile, back at the station, Chief Wilson's chewing out his officers for shooting an unarmed man because he was reaching for his wallet, which you just asked him to produce. Body cameras? Oh, suddenly there's malfunctions, lost footage, every excuse in the book. But there's something different in the chief's voice, a little fear, because my ID isn't just military, it's special forces, with a security clearance you don't get from eBay. Next thing you know, his phone's blowing up with calls from Washington. Suddenly, everyone's real interested in my unfortunate incident. In my hospital bed, I'm weighing options. Every protocol in my bones says stay quiet, gather intel, keep breathing, but my captain's team is already moving, checking on my status. Tanya, the nurse, slips me my phone back and whispers, "Your Captain Rivera called the hospital administrator directly. Stay ready." Not 2 minutes later, that presidential seal is lighting up my screen, reminding me that even when you're bleeding, the mission doesn't stop. The real twist comes when Rivera walks in, not just my second-in-command, but Army JAG, dressed for war in a suit. He's out my six, and suddenly Chief Wilson and the prosecutor are standing at the foot of my bed, offering me a deal: probation. Keep your mouth shut. Admit guilt. Go home. You know what I told them? Review the body cam footage before you try to railroad me. The prosecutor leans in, all threats and bluster, but I call his bluff. They want me gone, quiet, erased. Not happening. And here's where the story kicks sideways. A kid from the park, Deshaun, recorded the whole thing on his cousin's phone. The video's up in the cloud, safe, showing exactly how it went down. Me calm, hands visible, Phillips pulling the trigger for no reason. These kids are scared, but they're not stupid. They know this footage is gold and a target on their backs. Tanya checks on Mrs. Johnson too, warns her to stay safe. The system wants witnesses to disappear. Now I start connecting the dots. There's a real estate developer, Harrington, buying up blocks in our neighborhood, always with the cops' help. Increased patrols, fake violations, intimidation, pushing black residents out so the land can be flipped. Turns out, Harrington's donating public safety funds to the department, and officers like Phillips are getting bonuses to enforce the pressure. It's gentrification enforced by a badge. Even the prosecutor's moonlighting for Harrington, and the chief golfs with him every Thursday. This isn't just a rogue cop, it's a whole damn system. My team, including our tech whiz Aisha, starts digging. They find that Harrington's shell companies are moving big money offshore, the same financial pattern flagged in Operation Blackwatch. My current assignment, hunting a terrorist cell laundering funds through U.S. real estate. That's the moment I realized my shooting wasn't random. Phillips was covering tracks for more than just property developers. There's national security at stake. Rivera lays it out. We need you back at Fort Bragg. Blackwatch is reaching a critical phase, and you're the only one who can read Casimir, the terrorist leader. But how do you walk away from a community under siege? We split the difference. I organized the neighbors' legal teams, camera patrols, social media warriors, showing them how to fight back, military style, but non-violent. Mrs. Johnson's house becomes headquarters, and Reverend Jackson rallies the church. The teenagers get Deshaun's video to us, encrypted and safe. Tanya and Aisha start cross-checking hospital data. Injuries from police incidents are up 68% in 8 months, all in black families. It builds to a head. One stormy night, Phillips is back, trying to search Mrs. Johnson's house for probable cause. But this time, half the neighborhood's on the lawn, cameras out, everyone recording. Phillips tries to intimidate, but I remind him, you shot a Delta Force commander investigating terrorist financing. You sure you know who you're working for? He blanches, and the crowd smells blood. The police back off, but now they're in full damage control, erasing evidence, threatening Brennan for breaking the blue wall. Doesn't matter, we've got copies, and Brennan agrees to testify. As we race to secure the evidence, it all comes together. FBI and my team bust Harrington, Chief Wilson, and Phillips. The money trail links them to Casimir's cell, and we intercept a planned attack at Savannah Harbor, stopping a dirty bomb that could have killed thousands. Phillips is caught red-handed, Petrov, Casimir's right hand, in custody, and all the evidence preserved. For the first time, the community breathes easy. Mrs. Johnson's house is safe. Deshaun and his friends are starting a neighborhood watch, and the same park where I was shot is filled with kids playing again. I spent 2 weeks in the hospital, getting medals and job offers, special advisory role on police reform, state commission on accountability. But what matters most is seeing neighbors protect each other, organizing not out of fear but pride. And as I sit on Mrs. Johnson's porch, eating her famous sweet potato pie, Tanya by my side, watching the sun set over a street reclaimed by its own people. I realized it wasn't a military op or a protest that changed things, but strategy, courage, and neighbors willing to stand up together. The fight isn't over corruption. Like this doesn't die easy, but now Westridge has teeth, and it knows how to bite back. So what would you do? Walk away and leave the community to fend for itself, or stick around, use what you know, and help turn the tide? Drop your thoughts below, because justice doesn't wait for permission. If this story hit you, share it, talk about it. Argue in the comments. What matters is that you don't stay silent. In the end, sometimes the best way to win is not by being a hero, but by showing folks how to be their own.